Albanian Mafia is considered to be one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in Europe, as we just heard. It controls a huge part of the heroin trade in Europe. Albanian drug dealers are said to raise money for the creation of a new country, a greater Albania. What is it really, and why do Albanians want it so? The answers in a report by Spotlight's Elena Demidova.
Macedonia, the former Republic of Yugoslavia, is peaceful today, but 7 years ago it was the scene of fighting between the Slavs and the ethnic Albanian minority. Though the violence has long been over, the Albanians still feel they could be treated better by the Macedonians.
We are born here and deserve equal rights. Macedonians don't give us equality. I don't feel they treat us with respect.
Albanian nationalists see the solution in the creation of a greater Albania, a country which could become home to all ethnic Albanians. And there is a certain territory which the nationalists are claiming as their own because of either present day or the historical presence of Albanians in the area. The territory includes Albania itself, Kosovo, a part of Macedonia, and the Epirus region and Greece. In February, Kosovo declared its independence. Many Albanians interpreted this as the first step towards the creation of Greater Albania.
We only want an ethnic Albania, for all the Albanians and all the countries to get together. Now's the end of protest and war. Albania is like our mother, Kosovo is our father.
However, other nations in the Balkans see the Albanian ideal as a threat to the relative stability in the region. The expansion of existing borders could be a difficult process. There are concerns that at least some of the funding for the Greater Albania movement comes from the Albanian Mafia. The United States Drug Enforcement Administration says that almost every European intelligence service and police force has files on connections between ethnic Albanian rebels and drug trafficking.
It's interesting. You've just said that law enforcement agencies and special services in the West are well aware of the fact that drug dealers, the mafia, and criminal money have always been behind the Kosovo liberation fighters. Nevertheless, the West took up an absolutely clear position of supporting the Kosovo Albanians against the Serbs. They've supported them from the very beginning. What was the reason for this?
I believe a lot has been said about the problems of building a new Europe, about the ethnic states and regionalization. But this is not the main issue. The main conflict, which is being developed on the territory of Kosovo, is the so-called military and energy conflict. The conflict between two oil pipelines. Russia has already started building one pipeline, and the United States has started building the other one, a mock-hole. The two gas pipelines are adding to the situation. One is the American Nabucco project, and the other one is the Russian South Stream project. The actual situation has been caused by the energy security problem in the United States. Let's not call it a problem of the West. The United States believes that the pipeline running through Kosovo and the Balkans is a strategic way of providing their national interests. I believe the United States isn't protecting the interests of the West in general, but rather it's pursuing its national interests, as they really need the Kosovo Mafia as a backup for implementing their ideas, for causing a split within the Orthodox world in Europe, and a split in Europe itself.
Mr. Ovchinsky, you said that the main reason the West, and first of all the United States, supported the Albanians during the Kosovo conflict is the obvious economic interest. Particularly, it's the fight for the transportation of energy carriers, such as oil and gas, through the European territory along the Balkan route. All right, but what about the idea of the Greater Albania? Delirious as it may seem, it is a real idea, and millions of people are working towards it, and billions are being spent on it. Do you think this idea is feasible?
What's amazing is that the idea of the Great Albania wasn't even invented by the Albanians. This idea was formed by the theorists of German fascism in the 1990s. As we know, Benito Mussolini was the one who implemented the idea and built the Great Albania for the first time. The purpose of that idea was to form an Islamic enclave which would act as a satellite for the German and Italian fascists, and which would cause a split in Europe and in the Balkans, and mainly which would not allow the Balkan Slavic world to rear its head.
So, you believe this idea is still feasible in today's Europe?
This idea is feasible under the conditions that certain authorities, concerned with their energy and economic interests, decide to create a situation of chaos.
You're obviously talking about the Americans. The Europeans wouldn't want to create chaos, but the Americans...
It's easier for them to do this because they are far away.
All right, please tell us something. Kosovo's independence has been recognized. Do you believe they are serious about their independence? Or will they look for ways of uniting with Albania?
As we know, in every home, the Kosovars talk and dream about the Great Albania. In every Albanian enclave in Macedonia and Greece, and as well as other places, they dream about the Great Albania. If the internal ethnic structures receive an order, they would have to fulfill that order.